Are you feeling stuck? Maybe you're scrolling through social media, seeing creators making crores, seeing founders of companies like Zepto become multimillionaires before they're even 25, and this little voice in your head asks, hey, am I being left behind? You're worried about your future, your career, your financial goals. Well, what if I told you there's a playbook that could change everything? This isn't just another explainer. This is a detailed step-by-step masterclass that's going to give you the exact strategy to land a high-paying job in India's fastest-growing sector, a job that can literally make you a crorepati before you turn 30. We're about to transform the way you think about your career and your money. So get ready, because the game is changing, and this is how you win. Okay, let's dive right in. For generations, the dream we were all sold was a secure, stable job in a big, multinational corporation, right? An MNC. That was the definition of making it. But we have to have an honest conversation here. That old game, it's rigged, and frankly, it's over. In today's world, that so-called safe job, that comfortable business analyst title at a huge company, might actually be the biggest gamble you can take with your future. That perceived safety is an illusion, and it could be the single biggest risk to your career and your ability to build any real wealth.
So before we can build the future, we have to understand why the past just isn't working anymore. It is absolutely critical to see what we should not be doing. The old playbook, get a degree, join a huge company, and spend decades slowly climbing that predictable corporate ladder, it's broken. It's a relic. And with the explosive rise of artificial intelligence, it's not just broken, it's being completely dismantled by AI right before our very eyes. Now, this slide right here shows the brutal reality of it all. Let's just do the math on the MNC path. You land a pretty good job, say a 20 lakh salary. You're a top performer, so you get a 12% raise every year. In 5 years, your salary will be around 35 lakhs, and that feels safe, right? It feels like you're making progress. But you are one of 200,000 employees, a tiny, completely replaceable cog in a giant machine. Now think about your actual work. Managing support tickets, matching financial statements. It's repetitive, it's predictable, and that makes it a perfect target for automation. AI isn't just coming for these roles, it's already here, making those jobs redundant. The startup path, though, it's a completely different universe. It's about making an impact, solving new, complex problems every single day, and most importantly, it's about true ownership. So, if the old game is over, what's the new game? The answer is simple and direct: startups. And listen, this isn't just some passing trend. This is the single biggest economic transformation happening in India right now. We are on the verge of an explosive boom, a lot like what China experienced over the last couple of decades. Startups are the engine of that growth. This is where the jobs of the future are being created, and more importantly, this is where a whole new generation of wealth is being built from the ground up. And this number just perfectly illustrates the life-changing potential we're talking about. $320 million. That's over 2,500 crore rupees. This is the amount an early receptionist at Alibaba, a woman named Tong, made when the company went public. She joined Jack Ma's team when it was just a tiny operation, for a pretty small salary, but she got something infinitely more valuable in return: ownership. She grew with the company, eventually becoming a senior vice president, and her story is just an incredible testament to the wealth that startups can create for people who get in early. She bet on a vision, not just a paycheck. Okay, the bottom line is this: you need to understand the magic of ESOPs, or employee stock options. This is not a bonus, it's a piece of the company. It literally makes you an owner. Let's break it down really simply. When you get ESOPs, you get the right to buy shares in the future at a price that's locked in today. That's called the strike price. Now, as the company grows and becomes more valuable, your locked-in price stays low, so the value of your shares just skyrockets. These options don't become yours all at once. They vest over time, usually 4 years, which encourages you to stay and help build the company. So let's go back to our math. Imagine you join a startup for 15 lakh rupees, but you also get 10 lakh rupees in ESOPs. Your salary grows at 25%, hitting 46 lakh rupees in 5 years, already crushing the MNC path. But here's the real game changer. If that startup grows just 10x in value, which is pretty common for a successful startup, your 10 lakh rupees in ESOPs are now worth a full 1 crore rupee. That's how you become a crorepati. This number is just staggering. During China's economic boom, which was fueled almost entirely by its startup ecosystem, the country created 500 new dollar millionaires every single day for 25 years straight. Just let that sink in for a second. India is standing on the edge of that exact same explosion. To put it in perspective, the entire Indian IT services industry employs about 50 lakh people.
The Indian startup ecosystem is on a path to blow right past that number, creating higher quality, higher paying jobs. The wave is coming. The only question is, are you going to be ready to ride it? Okay, let's get practical. The dream is amazing, but dreams don't pay the bills. Execution does. This is where our masterclass really kicks into gear. We're going to walk through a 6-step playbook, and this first half is all about strategy. It's about how to find the perfect opportunity, figure out your ideal role, and make an approach that guarantees you get noticed by the right people. So let's break down our strategy into 3 simple, actionable moves. First, we're not just looking for any startup. We're targeting the right startups. This takes real research, not just spraying your resume everywhere. Second, it's about looking inward, matching your unique skills and who you are to a high-value role where you can make a massive impact. And finally, it's about crafting an outreach that cuts through all the noise and lands you directly on the radar of the founders and hiring managers who actually make the decisions. First off, forget those mass job boards. The quality of your search determines the quality of your career. Use curated platforms like LinkedIn, Wellfound, or Instahire. But don't just look at the company. Research the people, the background and track record of the founders and senior leaders. That's your single best clue to the quality of the startup. But here is the biggest hack I can possibly give you. Stop looking for jobs. Start predicting where the jobs will be created. A startup that has just raised millions of dollars is drowning in cash and is desperate for talent. They are overfunded and understaffed, the perfect combination for you. You can track this news manually, or you can work smart. Set up an AI agent on a tool like Perplexity to search for Series A funding India every morning and email your report. This simple move puts you in the top 1% of applicants who know where the opportunities are before they're even announced. Don't get distracted by fancy job titles like Growth Hacker or Synergy Ninja. In any startup, real value is created in one of 3 ways. You increase revenue, you reduce costs, or you improve the customer experience. That's it. These 5 roles on this slide are the engine rooms for those goals. The key is to match your natural attitude to one of these functions. Are you a people person who loves building relationships and closing deals? Sales is for you. A creative storyteller who gets audiences? Marketing. A process wizard who loves building systems? Business ops. A data geek who loves digging into numbers to find insights? Product ops. And if you're a curious, fast-learning generalist who wants to do a bit of everything and learn directly from the top, the Founder's Office is the perfect launchpad for you. The key isn't to force a fit. It's to find the role that aligns with who you already are. And by the way, if you're finding value in this video, please subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Here's a secret that all the best candidates understand. That Apply Now button on a job portal, it's a black hole. It's a resume graveyard. When a hot startup posts a job on LinkedIn, they get thousands of applications in the first 48 hours. It's literally impossible for a recruiter to see them all. The real hiring, the 80% of it, happens through 3 hidden channels: warm referrals from the team, smart and direct cold outreach, and converting high-performing interns. If you're only clicking Apply Now, you're not even playing the same game as the people who actually get hired. All right, let's move to the second half of our playbook. So you found your target company, you've identified the perfect role, and you have a plan to get around that black hole of online applications. Now it's time to execute. This is where you go from just being an applicant to being the candidate they have to hire. This is where you prove your value and you seal the deal. This is where we shift from strategy to action. This is where you really separate yourself from the pack. You're not just going to tell them you're a good fit. You're going to show them with undeniable proof. After that, you're going to master the interview, not just by avoiding mistakes, but by actually delighting the interviewer. And finally, you will learn to negotiate an offer that doesn't just focus on short-term cash, but sets you up for long-term, life-changing wealth. Let's be brutally honest for a second. In 2024, nobody cares about your online course certificate. It's just wallpaper at this point. What they care about is proof that you can solve their problems. Your proof of work is a tangible, real solution you create specifically for them before you even talk to them. For example, applying for a content role. Don't just say you're good at content. Use AI tools to analyze their top 3 competitors, find content gaps on their blog, and build a detailed 30-day content calendar for them. Targeting a product role. Find a flaw in their app's user flow, use a simple tool like Figma to design a better solution, and build a working prototype that solves it. This single act shows initiative, problem-solving skills, and a get-things-done attitude that is impossible for any founder to ignore. The interview has 2 really simple goals. Goal number 1, don't get rejected in the first 5 minutes. This means avoiding the basic, stupid mistakes. Show up early. Test your internet and your camera. Dress professionally,
be prepared. They are looking for easy reasons to filter you out, so don't give them any. The second goal is to actively create delight. This is where you confidently present and defend that proof of work you created. You tell rehearsed, compelling stories that show off your problem-solving skills, and you demonstrate a proactive, low-ego, get-stuff-done attitude. Remember, they're not just hiring your resume. They're hiring your attitude and your potential to grow with them.
You've made it, you've impressed them, they absolutely love your proof of work. And they've made you an offer. This is the final and maybe the most important step in the entire playbook. And it's where most people get it completely wrong because they fixate on the one thing that matters the least in the long run. What's really interesting here is the profound mindset shift this represents. Amateurs see a job as a transaction. They trade their time for a monthly salary, so they haggle for an extra 10% on their cash. Pros see a job as an investment in their career. They negotiate for a role with a bigger scope and more impact because they know it will accelerate their learning. They negotiate to work with the smartest team because they know their own value grows when they're surrounded by A players. And most importantly, they negotiate for ownership, for more ESOPs, because that is the only proven path to real long-term wealth. The cash will always follow great work and accelerated learning. And always remember this, building a career like this is a long-term game. The first few years in a high-growth startup are all about building skills, credibility, and experience at a blinding speed. You are investing in yourself. The real financial rewards, the magic of compounding from your ESOPs and your skills, that kicks in much later. So many people get impatient. They get lured away by a slightly higher salary at a slower company. They drop off right before they see the exponential growth. Don't be one of them. Never trade long-term, life-changing wealth for a little bit of short-term cash.
So what this all comes down to is this. The path is clear. The opportunity in India's startup ecosystem is the biggest our generation will ever see. And the old roles of corporate success are completely irrelevant. You now have the complete 6-step playbook. You have the strategy, and you have the tactics. The old game is over, and the new one has already started. The only question left is, will you be a spectator, or are you going to get in the arena and play to win? The choice is yours. Go and take action.